Yeah, I'd rather be sitting on a really beautiful deck right now instead of the ground. So I think I'm gonna build a beautiful deck, all thanks to Sutherlands. Sutherlands has a great selection of deck packages available, and you can even write down the dimensions of the deck that you want, and Sutherlands will customize it for you. And they provide all the drawings you'll need and the necessary materials to build an amazing deck. And if you don't want to build it yourself, they'll recommend a professional contractor in your area to build it for you. Just head to your local Sutherlands and talk to a deck design associate. I've got all the supplies and I'm ready to go. And this deck isn't going to build itself. I got a lot of work to do. So come on, let's get started. First, I'll prepare the house for the ledger board of the deck by removing the siding so I can make accurate measurements for the deck placement. Now I will measure where the girder beam will go so I can dig the footings. I'll run a string line and attach them to stakes to ensure the proper placement of the footings. Next, I'll measure diagonally from opposite corners to ensure the deck parameters are square. Both measurements should be equal. Working along the string line, I'll mark the areas for the footings. According to my deck plans from Sutherlands, I'll have 6 footings at 7 feet 5 inches apart. I'll now make a 2 foot by 2 foot area and begin digging the footings. I'm digging my footings 2 feet deep. Be sure to check your local building codes for proper depths, sizes, and other requirements for your footings. Now that the footings are dug, I'll place rebar on rebar chairs in the bottom of the holes. Then I'll mix Sutherland's concrete according to the directions on the bag and pour it in the footings. I'll add concrete in the holes until it reaches the required depth. Then place a round concrete form with support braces for the remainder of the concrete, making sure it's level. I'll add more rebar before pouring the remaining concrete in the forms. Once the concrete has set for at least 24 hours, you can remove the braces and fill with dirt. Now we're moving on to the ledger board. Since I know the joist for my deck will be 16 inches on center, I'm measuring 8 inches over from the edge of the board, then making marks 16 inches apart from there. This will ensure that my joist hangers will clear my support screws. I'm going to measure down 1.5 inches from where I want the deck flooring to be. This will be my guide for the ledger board. I'll secure one end of the ledger board, then attach the opposite end, making sure it's level. To secure the ledger board to the house, I'm using these 5-inch ledger-tight screws. They are perfect for decks and you don't have to pre-drill, and they have superior corrosion resistance. Then I'll secure the board properly with the ledger-tight screws following the markings I made earlier. I'll continue adding the ledger board down the length of the house. Now I'll attach a rim joist to the side of the deck that also attaches to the house using the ledger-tight screws. All right, I feel that's a really good stopping point for this week. Now, I really want the concrete in the footings to set for a good, solid week to properly cure before I add the posts and the beam. So make sure you tune in next week. We'll add the girder, all the joists, and it's really gonna start looking like a deck. Till next time, I'm Jeremy Rabe, and don't forget, don't just build it right, build it better with Sutherlands. I'll see you there.